So we were discussing failures of classical ideas or failures of 19th century physics. In that we have already discussed black body radiation, which could not be explained on the basis of classical ideas. The next failure of classical wave theory or classical physics is photoelectric effect. So this is second failure, photoelectric effect. What is photoelectric effect? When light is incident on certain metal surface, especially of alkali metals, then electrons are emitted from that particular surface. This effect is called as photoelectric effect. The electrons emitted are called photoelectrons, and when they are passed through a closed circuit, they constitute a current, what is called as a photocurrent. So in brief, photoelectric effect means ejection of electrons under the influence of light. Some of the experimental observations of photoelectric effects are: the first one, the number of photoelectrons ejected from the metal surface, they are directly proportional to, or they are increasing with increase in intensity and independent of frequency. The number of photoelectrons emitted from the surface increase with increase in the intensity of a light, and they are independent of the frequency of incident light. Then second experimental observation is that if the frequency of incident light is less than certain frequency nu zero, then photoelectric effect is not observed. The frequency nu zero is called as a threshold frequency, and it is found that the different metals, they possess different threshold values. So if the frequency of incident light is less than certain frequency nu zero or threshold frequency, then this effect is not observed. Then existence of nu zero is there. And then third observation is there is no time lag between incidence of light and ejection of electrons. That is, photoelectric effect is an instantaneous phenomena. The moment the light is incident on the metal surface, for the very next moment electrons are emitted from that surface. So it is an instantaneous phenomenon. It is an instantaneous phenomenon. Then fourth experimental observation of photoelectric effect is the kinetic energy of emitted electrons, the kinetic energy of ejected or emitted photoelectrons is directly proportional to the frequency of incident light, and is independent of intensity. These are the experimental observations of photoelectric effect. Now we will see that how classical theory or classical wave theory could not explain these experimental observations. We know that from 19th century physics, as interference phenomenon was known, it was known that light is an electromagnetic wave. So wave nature was assigned to light. So we are trying to explain these experimental observations on the basis of 19th century physics or classical wave theory, where we are going to treat light as a wave. So light has these characteristics, like it has amplitude, wavelength and frequency. Wavelength or frequency. What are the characteristics of wave? Amplitude, its wavelength or frequency. So light is something like this. So our firstly, why classical theory could not explain the first observation is that when we are saying that the intensity of the incident light is increasing, if the intensity of incident light is increasing, intensity for a wave means its amplitude. If its amplitude is increasing, then what must happen is that the kinetic energy must increase. So amplitude is increasing means its strength is increasing, strength or energy is increasing. So what must increase is that the kinetic energy of emitted electrons. But that is not happening. What is happening is that the number of electrons they are getting, the number of electrons emitted, they are increasing in a number by increasing amplitude, and therefore the classical wave theory could not explain our first observation. Okay, so the second observation is that the classical wave theory could not explain the existence of threshold frequency. It could not explain the existence of threshold frequency. However, the surfaces of different materials, they are found to have different threshold frequencies. Then, if light is a wave, then the photoelectric effect cannot be an instantaneous phenomenon, because for wave to interact with the electrons of this surface of the metal must take some time. There must be some time lag, and then electrons will get emitted, but that is not happening. What is found in practice is that it is an instantaneous phenomena. There is no time lag between incidence of light and ejection of photoelectrons. So, third observation we cannot explain on classical wave theory or by assigning wave nature to the light. Then fourth observation is that the kinetic energy of emitted photoelectrons is increasing with frequency. If the frequency of the incident light is increasing, means number of cycles per second, they are increasing, then what must increase? The number then what must increase? The number of electrons emitted must increase, but that is not happening. What is increasing with increase in frequency is that the kinetic energy of emitted photoelectrons is increasing and is independent of intensity. Actually, kinetic energy must govern by the amplitude of the wave, but that is not happening. It is independent of intensity and it is function of frequency only, or proportional to frequency. So because of these many failures of classical ideas, there was a need to introduce new unclassical ideas in physics, and in this regard scientists Planck, Einstein and de Broglie made a contribution. So the next article which we are going to discuss is a rise of new and unclassical ideas in physics. So since classical wave theory could not explain the experimental observations or experimental facts of photoelectric effect, there was a need to introduce new unclassical ideas or concepts in physics, and scientists Planck, Einstein and de Broglie contributed in this respect. The Planck's contribution to these new ideas can be stated as a postulate and is called as Planck's hypothesis or Planck's postulate. It can be stated as follows. Any physical entity executing simple harmonic oscillations can possess only total energies. Any physical entity executing simple harmonic oscillations can possess total energies, only those total energies which satisfy the relation E equal to NH nu. E equal to NH nu. So this is the first part of Planck's quantum hypothesis, that a simple harmonic oscillator will have its total energies, which is given by this particular formula, where n takes values 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, and nu is the frequency of oscillation. Nu is the frequency of oscillation. So a entity executing simple harmonic oscillations will possess only discrete energy values like 0, h nu, twice h nu, thrice h nu and so on. It will possess only such a discrete values of energy if it obeys Planck's quantum hypothesis. And these discrete values can be plotted as a discrete lines on its energy level diagram. So this corresponds to E equal to 0, this corresponds to h nu, this corresponds to twice h nu, this corresponds to thrice h nu, this corresponds to 4h nu and so on, if it obeys Planck's quantum hypothesis. So total energy of such a physical entity executing simple harmonic oscillations is said to be quantized since it possesses discrete values. The allowed states are called as quantum states, and the integer n is called as a quantum number. Integer n is called as a quantum number. So the quantization of energy of a simple harmonic oscillator is against the spirit of classical wave theory. Classical wave theory predicts that a simple harmonic oscillator will have a continuous energy values which will lie in the range 0 to infinity, but that is not happening. Instead of continuous energy spectrum, what we are getting is the quantized energy values or the quantum states. So this particular figure will predict that if I have a classical system, if I have a system obeying classical wave theory, then its energy will be continuous. So this is classical picture, a system obeying classical mechanics. All these energy levels, they will be very close to each other, almost they will be continuous. So this is continuous energy spectrum, continuous energy spectrum. On the other hand, if the same system obeys Planck's quantum hypothesis, then it will have such a discrete energy value. So this is Planck's picture and this is classical picture for the same system if it obeys classical wave theory and if the same obeys Planck's quantum hypothesis. Max Planck used these ideas to explain black body radiation curve. So the first part of Planck's quantum hypothesis has been used to explain the black body radiation curves or the phenomenon of black body radiation. He treated the particles of the wall of the black body as a vibrating particles as the simple harmonic oscillator, which are emitting and absorbing energy in the discrete form. He treated the particles of the wall of the container as if they are simple harmonic oscillators emitting and absorbing energy in the discrete form and derived the following radiation formula. This is called as Planck's radiation formula. Planck's radiation formula. And it is based on the fact that the oscillator will emit and absorb energy in a discrete form. It will have quantized nature, and derived this particular formula u lambda d lambda equal to 8 pi hc divided by lambda raised to 5, and in bracket we have e raised to sc upon lambda kt minus 1 into d lambda. What is u lambda d lambda? Energy emitted in the energy range lambda and lambda plus d lambda, where u lambda is intensity of energy emitted, is given by 8 pi hc, where h is the universal constant whose value is 6.623 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule second, which is called as a Planck's constant. C is velocity of light, and lambda is the wavelength. So this is the Planck's radiation formula, which was found in excellent agreement with the experimental curves. So all those radiation curves we can explain by making the use of this Planck's radiation formula. So this particular formula is in excellent agreement with the experimental observations. So there is the matching of theoretical predictions and experimental facts. Now the second part of Planck's postulate is that Planck made another revolutionary concept or revolutionary idea, that the light, instead of having a wave nature, light possesses a particle nature. What he says is that instead of having a wave nature, the light is a beam or shower of energy bundles. So what is light? Instead of a wave, it is beam or shower of energy bundles. These are energy bundles which are called as photons or quanta, each photon having energy h nu, where h is Planck's constant and nu is the frequency of oscillations with which these particular photons vibrate. So this is called as a particle nature of light, which was proposed by Max Planck in its second part of its quantum hypothesis. So what is light now? Light is not a wave, it's a beam or shower of particles, and these our energy bundles, these are actually energy bundles, each which are called as photons or the quanta, each photon having energy h nu. These energy bundles are localized in some volume of space and remains localized although they move with a speed of a light from the source. So Einstein used this particular particle nature of a light instead of a wave to explain photoelectric effect. Now let us see how we can explain the experimental facts of photoelectric effect on the particle nature of a light. So we have this as a shower or beam of energy bundles, each having energy h nu, what are called as photons. What was the first observation? The first experimental observation of photoelectric effect was the number of photoelectrons ejected directly proportional to intensity of a light, and is independent of frequency. So when the intensity of this beam is increasing, means number of photons per unit area per unit time is increasing, means number of photons incident, they are increasing, the number of emitted electrons is increasing and is independent of frequency. There is nothing to do with the frequency of this particular photon, where h nu is the energy of each energy bundle or photon. So we can explain, as the number of photons are increasing, the number of emitted electrons are also increasing. Then second, if the frequency of incident light is less than certain frequency called threshold nu zero, if the frequency of incident light is less than this, means if the energy of incident photon is less than the energy which is required to eject an electron from its outermost surface is less than this, then electrons cannot be emitted. So if nu is less than nu zero, this effect cannot be observed because the energy of photon is not sufficient to eject an electron from the outermost shell of the outermost surface of the metal, particularly alkali metals. Then third, the interaction of photon being a particle with electron is a particle-particle interaction which can be instantaneous. So the moment photons are incident, every photon is responsible for ejecting each electron. So this phenomenon can be instantaneous. So being a particle-particle interaction, the photoelectric effect can be an instantaneous phenomenon. Then fourth observation, if kinetic energy, if the frequency of the incident light is increasing, if the frequency of the incident light is increasing, means nu is increasing, means its energy is increasing. If the energy of the incident photons is increasing, then kinetic energy of ejected photoelectron is increasing with increase in the frequency nu. Kinetic energy is increasing with frequency because h nu gives me the energy. If the energy of incident photon is increasing, kinetic energy of the ejected photoelectron is also increasing and is independent of intensity. It has nothing to do with intensity. So in this way, if you assign particle nature to the light, then you can explain all the experimental observations of photoelectric effect. So Einstein used this particle nature or corpuscular nature to explain photoelectric effect, and he received Nobel Prize in 1921 for the explanation of photoelectric effect. We know that Einstein is more famous for his theory of relativity, but he received the Nobel Prize for the explanation of photoelectric effect on a particle nature and not for the theory of relativity. So next time we will discuss wave particle duality. So let us stop here.